Yeah. And Gianna had a very interesting dream last night. You want to at all share that, or is that too intense?
It's slightly vulgar. Maybe.
Yeah. Vulgar is okay. Raw, whatever it is, this we can cut it away if you don't
tell
like.
it, and then you guys can do your interpretations of it.
Oh, maybe you can.
Oh. Okay. Well, I was in prison for some reason, and I was there with the part of the cast from Orange is the New Black. I'm not really sure why. And we were eating dinner, and there was a guard, a CO was there, and he started building walls and locking us inside of a prison cell. And I got a little nervous. I was like, hey man, this is not really, I'm not cool with this. I don't like this. And he started coming up to each one of us and kind of harassing us. We were trying to just have a normal, grown-up conversation, and started kind of harassing us. And for some reason I had 2 forks instead of a fork and a knife, or just a fork. And I took him off of the table and onto my lap underneath the table, just to have some protection, I think. When he came to me, I raised the forks and just kind of aimed right here on him, just trying to get him out of my face. And it did nothing because they were plastic forks, because it's prison and you're not supposed to have anything sharp. So obviously that didn't work, but it scared him. And he started getting mad and extra macho, and he started throwing table around and the chairs around. And it was 5 of us against 1 of him, and he started fighting us. We started fighting back, and he went through all the other girls first, and by the time he got to me, he was pretty scratched up already, a little tired out. We're pretty fierce, I think. And when he got to me, I just took him by his neck and had this rush of adrenaline and strength and anger and survival mode, and I just threw my weight onto him, and on the way down he hit his head on the edge of a chair, and I realized, oh, that's a weapon right there. So I started wailing on him and still holding his neck but bashing his head at the same time, which is the vulgar bit. It's amazing that my subconscious came up with that I could just do that. And at some point he stopped fighting me, so I put his head down, I laid his head down, and I realized I had killed him. And I started freaking out. I was like, oh my god, he's dead. Oh my god, what's happening? And I woke up this morning and babies were crying, and I was like,
starting 5 o'clock or so, yeah.
What did I do? That was such a weird dream. I realized it was 6 a.m. and so I was like, no, I'm going back to sleep. So as soon as I fell back asleep, I had the dream over again. But this time it was exactly the same, except there was more details to it. We were having chicken for dinner instead of just dinner, stuff like that. Except this time when I killed the man, the guard, I just laid his head down and I was okay with it. I was you were an evil man, and now you're no longer evil. You can't cause harm to anyone else. I felt strangely proud. That's over. You're out of here. And it felt okay. I was okay, now we gotta get out of here. We need to, the whole time I forgot this part, the whole time I was bashing his head, I was just saying, I just want to go outside, I just want to go outside, I just want to go outside. And I just wanted to leave and be free and be outside. And he was the guard. He represented everything that I hate, imprisonment. That's the part that I forgot, but yeah. And then I told Papa in the morning, and immediately both of you guys had the same reaction. I was asked them separately what their interpretations were. And Papa first said, and then Mama said the exact same thing later. If you guys want to tell them what that was. It made it sound a lot better from my perspective.
Yeah. I had the feeling that, yeah, sometimes dreams for me are out-of-body experiences. I'm experiencing them in other places with other beings, but sometimes dreams are just kind of whatever shows up are kind of representations of parts of me. So I was thinking that maybe these other inmates or fellow
Mates.
prisoners, yeah, were other parts of G, but then also this guard who's building walls around her, and the other parts of her is also her, and that his lack of respect and lack of love for these women, and his vulgarity and his violence, all of this is also maybe a part of G, the part of her that she wants to be done with, that she is feeling ready to step up and either kill or let go of, or whatever it is. Just be done with it, like put it to an end, and that can mean a lot of things, but that that maybe this was all just like a little image for her, and it got clearer the second time around, maybe just to say, yes, look at this is you, this is your story, look at it clearly, this is what you have the power to do and be, and you can go outside. It is prison walls that are built by you, and do you want to keep building them? That was my feeling.
And right, just when you were talking, I realized that this sounds like one represents, if you want to go with that, like the male aspects of you, and the women are the female aspects in you, and there's certainly a disbalance. They're all just kind of stuck in their qualities, and they're using them against each other. And they were back to relationships, really. There could be also a relationship that you have with somebody, with a man, or they could come up in a partnership, or with parents that sometimes, yeah, you have the potential to merge and complement each other, and to co-create, and to be peaceful with each other, and flow. Or there's the potential of confrontation. Like, you're different, you're wrong, and I have to dominate, as in the male power, and I have to fight for my survival as the female aspect. And in your dream, that's definitely what they chose, which is also, it all is. It's also okay. Why not? But there is also, and that's what I pointed out later on. There's also you also have the chance to see or to talk to both of those aspects, in a way, and say, hey, male, maybe you're beautiful, and you're so powerful, and you got so much strength. Why don't you use it for supporting us, for creating a vessel for us that's safe, where all these female parts can unfold and grow and blossom in their creativity. So maybe there can be a peacemaking, instead of kicking one part out that you don't like. And you didn't do that consciously. I'm not saying you're wrong or anything, but how this dream could actually get you to even think and ponder about that. How do you want that in the first place, and then how could that be done?
I think the first instinct wouldn't be to kill it anyway, because I do feel like a little disbalanced, because my male tendencies, I don't know if that's what you would call them, are much stronger. Like, most of the time I feel more testosterone fueled than otherwise.
Welcome to just about anybody's in any woman's life, yeah.
And I don't know, I don't have a real problem with it, but sometimes I feel like maybe I should be more gentle or more understanding, and that's probably, I don't know, I could just make peace.
I have this image of this symbol, and it's called the Vesica piscis or piscis, and it's on the well in Glastonbury. Which well is that? I don't know. It's in Glastonbury, but it represents heaven and earth and their coming together point, or feminine and masculine and their coming together point, or light and dark, these kinds of things. And I just can see that sometimes what we're doing is living in these outer parts of this instead of in this in-between meshing part where, like what you were saying, making peace with is also maybe integrating it into the wholeness of you, rather than like there's my masculine part, there's my feminine part in the dream. I mean, like being able to find a way to call those parts into love, into compassion, into even sacredness, you know, to use that divine masculine power that you have, bring it in and combine it, you know, together with the feminine, divine feminine power.
I feel that's where you're headed anyways.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe the need to kill it in your dream is just a result of an imbalance. Like at some point you feel the need to protect yourself in a strong way, but when we bring it back into balance, it doesn't have to be about violence anymore. And it's just maybe a message at this point to say, look how out of balance. You have to kill this now, but let's bring it back.
Yeah. I also feel like you guys saying that in your interpretation of my dream made a lot of sense to me, and I like it a lot, and it seems right. But when I first woke up, my first like thought or sense was more like I just see a lot of violence in the world, and I try to, if I see like a violent post on Facebook, I try to just not watch it or not read it, but it still like creeps in, and I think this man was gonna violate us, and I don't stand for that. And my first instinct in the dream was to be like, no, like if you try that, you might as well be dead. Like, just don't. I don't know, don't
your boundaries.
I mean, it's bad enough that I killed somebody because one of my rules is don't kill people. But I don't know, don't kill people and don't rape people. Those are two things, like, just don't do it. And so my first instinct was to be like, you need to be shut down because what you're doing is wrong. I don't know, when I hear stories about it or when I experience something that is close to that, I don't stand for it. They need to be stopped somehow. I don't know how to fix it, but I want to. I don't know.
So many layers, right? Layers to the...
Yeah, like maybe have a better childhood or something.
Create
I'm
one.
not really sure. Like,
Create one, yeah.
I think if people already are feeling that way, like they need to act upon these urges, then something went wrong a long time ago in their childhood, because no one should feel like they need to do that. That was my first feeling. When I woke up, I was like, oh, obviously they were doing something wrong and I was just trying to stop them.
And also there, the killing, now that you mentioned
an accident,
that,
you know?
yeah, right. I mean, you were just making it strong. Like, you can also kill a certain aspect of it. You're killing the male aspect of being dominant and brutal and aggressive. You just kind of killed that part of it. So then it can be in its true beauty appear now to you after the aspect that was stuck, that wasn't working either for the male or for the female. Huh? Because for myself, I can say I don't enjoy being aggressive or mean, you know, like, but it's the qualities that are in me, in my as a potential, and if I can shift those into the more supportive and standing and holding qualities, I also feel a lot better, and everyone else feels a lot better. But for that, we could say we killed, you know, we annihilated the aspects of aggression. So there was a murder going on, but not necessarily to a person or so, but to
Aspect.
an aspect. could be also. And then you can, so you didn't kill the male, and you can never make peace with him, but you just kind of stood up and say, hey male, I don't want your violence here, you know, like try your other, try the other qualities.
I like that.
Yeah. So that aggressive man died, and then now the noble and in his power man will appear and hold and take care of things there
Yeah.
I like
and carry you.
Yeah, and if I could, I mean, what I'm thinking about is how I've really in the past few years been feeling more and more like this when I'm experiencing or witnessing violence out in the world or in myself or in a relationship with somebody, verbal abuse or whatever it is. I've really come into this place of kind of related to what you're saying, but without it's hot, huh? It's getting really hot.
Wrap it up.
I'll try to wrap it up. Oh, the fly just started biting me too.
Yeah.
This place of backing up, I kind of back up in the timeline for this person who's holding this aggression, and I'm backing up to their childhood. I mean, automatically, I don't actually think about it, but I find myself with this person as a small child, and I see them, and I just have this incredible, deep love for them, because I see that what has brought them to this place has been somehow the feeling that they haven't gotten the love that they deserve or want. Regardless of if someone's given it to them or not, we each come in with our perception of, am I loved enough? And I stand in that place with that child, the child version of this aggressor, and I, without, like I said, without thinking about it, I find myself just holding them and opening my heart, and I feel love pouring out. And every time I talk about it, it makes me cry.
Mama.
I feel that love pouring out, and I know that will change that person right now where they are. That I have experienced them as a child, and I have given them deep unconditional love, is going to take them 1 or 2 notches out of the aggression they're in. Just 1 or 2 maybe, or maybe more. But I feel really empowered now, because until that I felt like there's nothing I could do, that I couldn't change the world when I thought that I had to, or that I couldn't help aggressive, horrible people find love and kindness again. But now I know that I can just love them in the place where they weren't loved enough, and it's so beautiful. So I don't really have to be afraid of them now. I don't have to be afraid. I don't have to hate them. I just love them deeply, and it feels like the only way that anything's ever going to change in my world. Whoa.
Yui, that fish thought the same. Oh, yeah,
That's
beautiful.
really beautiful.
It's really powerful too. I just feel so much peace now from that. Like when I see something happening, I may have a moment of like, but I can so quickly go back to that place of, you just haven't felt love. That's all. Nobody does those things because it feels good. Nobody.
Right.
It's because they're missing something, and there's sadness, and there's grief, and I wish everybody could do it. Just love those people who are, it's not everybody's way, that's fine too, but I feel like that is how I'm gonna raise the vibration, bring more love into the world, is by loving the people that everyone else is afraid of and wants to hate. It's
You're not doing it,
understandable.
yeah.
It's understandable. I get it, but I don't want to do it that way anymore.
And that's where you say have another childhood, huh? And I think this is what this does, you know, because they have another childhood. You don't have to get more chewing gum or go more to amusement parks, but what needs to be done and fixed or redone in the childhood is like experiencing love, huh? And so in you being able to send
that to
out this
them.
love, like the motherly love maybe to this person, can maybe recreate the childhood, and looking back now, not really actual facts have changed, but
A feeling.
experiencing of love is there, bam, and then you have a new start. It's major
wonderful.
transformation instantly.
I like that a lot.
Cool. So if you have problems with somebody, from now on we'll just send Brie there, and she's gonna just love them up, and we can just come back when everything is said and done, and it's all easy now for us. Gianna, yes. No more problems for us.
Nice.
See, it is, the responsibility is mine, isn't it?
Of course it is, always.
kidding.
No,
No, we were just saying how it isn't.
I know, it was a joke. I've just been working through that, like having to let go of the feeling that I am responsible for everybody and everything. Their happiness, contentment, smoothness, all of that.
Yeah.
Isn't it so beautiful here?
I think Gianna wanted to say one more thing.
Oh,
right?
good.
Yeah. About here at the cabin, how beautiful it is. But also, every time I'm here, I have really strong dreams. Back to the dream. I don't know. I usually have pretty vivid dreams, but sometimes by the time I wake up, I don't remember them. Or they are not so valid. I don't know. Here, every night that I've slept here so far has been just so intense. It's almost like I wake up tired from dreaming so hard. And there's something special about this here, like it just brings it out, makes it easier to look at.
Strong energy.
Yeah,
You've been coming here since you were conceived.
that's a pleasant thought.
I mean, really, since she was just starting in my belly, she's been coming here, floating around in the kayak or on the skiff on the water, and you have a strong connection, especially to your Mika, who
And my chief.
and your chief, but my
Mika,
mom
my
and dad,
chief.
who have such a strong, beautiful, grounded connection here. So that makes a lot of sense that you really open up for that here.
Yeah. I feel like the cabin was specially built for me.
It was then,
It was specially built for everybody.
but especially
Personally.
for Gigi.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it here. I
My
love that you
beautiful
guys are
girl.
all here.
Yeah, it's a good.
Luka
good
left
life, huh?
yesterday, and I immediately was like, what? No, come back.
Yeah,
I'll see him again soon.
it's okay, but yeah, I had the same
No,
feeling today.
It's
He's
good
sort of
that
missing.
he's
Yeah.
with his friends.
missing.
I know.
Yeah.
He needs to see his people too, but it's like, but you just got here. So I have the rest of my family around me, so I'm happy about that.
You'll have Luka again somewhere, sometime.
Mhm.
I'm getting sunburned.
All right, we have to go
Yeah, me too.
jump in the water, get naked and jump in the water. But we will not have that on this. Use
Sorry.
your imagination, yeah. Or lucky you or whatever.
Nope.
All right.
Ciao.
Watch my finger.